so much. I love you so much. I love you so much. I love you so much.
Hello, all you positive heads. Welcome to a very special episode dedicated to none other than you, the P-heads themselves. I am your P-head enthusiast and hostess for the day, Alexa Hauser. I have been blessed to have the experience of helping out with Positive Head social media for the better part of a year. And through my digital interactions, I began to realize, as did Brandon, that we have some incredible beings listening to this show who are taking the information that Brandon puts out through the podcast and using it to transform their lives and create wonderful things. You listeners are all a huge, huge part of the life force that propels this show forward through time and space, and we think it's time to bring forth some of you beautiful reflections and delve a little deeper into this collection of energy that is the Positive Head community. So as we shine the spotlight on our listeners, what we'll have them do is share their stories of how they attracted Positive Head into their life, the transformation it's facilitated for them, and what they're focused on creating now that they're in a more positive headspace. Also, this episode of the Positive Head podcast is being brought to you thanks to the support of Gaia. If you're not familiar, Gaia is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content online. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. Hello, all you positive heads. On this week's P-Head Posse episode, our guest is Positive Head listener, Metaphysical Mike. Metaphysical Mike is a spiritual coach, healer, psychic, and inspiring thought leader. Hi, Mike. Welcome to the show.
Alexa, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Oh, so the pleasure is mine. The pleasure is mine. You are another one of the listeners that has magically manifested yourself to the front of the line through your focusing powers or affirmations or whatever you've been doing, because all I know is like 2 days ago, Brandon, who hosts all the other episodes, messaged me and was like, how about this guy? You need to bring this guy on. And I was like, yeah, I've been seeing that guy. And when I messaged you, you were like, what? I was just like calling this in. So congrats to you, my friend.
Thank you. Thank you. I appreciate that. This is much better than manifesting, skipping the line at Starbucks. So
yeah, well, I'm excited to have this talk. It seems like you have a lot, that you're getting into. But first, like before we get into that, do you want to kind of give us just a little bit about yourself, like your story of, your journey up until this point?
Oh, yeah, sure. It's been a long, hectic journey. That's for sure. So when I was 4 years old, do you want me to talk about where I was born, or do you want me to
you can give us a summary of your whole story.
Okay. So number one fact, my zodiac sign, I'm a Cancer. I was born on July 2nd, 1997 in Fox Chase Pavilion in Pennsylvania. This is near Philadelphia.
That's where I live.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I'm not surprised. The universe. So I was born in Holy Redeemer. And what happened basically was during most of my earlier years, I was 4 or 5 years old, and I was very different from most people, most kids. I was diagnosed at 4 years old. I got rushed to CHOP Hospital. The doctor hit my leg with his hammer. I had no reflex. And they said, your son is having issues with cognitive thinking. And they said I was diagnosed with sensory integration dysfunction disorder, which basically means I have motor skills issues. I couldn't walk forwards like at 4 or 5. I didn't know how to walk forwards. I had to have someone literally teach me how to walk downstairs.
Wow.
And
Crazy.
What happened was I would be in all these different therapy classes. I mean, at 5 years old, I would physical therapy, occupational therapy. I saw a psychologist. I saw someone for, my health. I mean, I just was seeing 4 or 5 therapists a week. I used to have people come over to my house and they used to observe my behavior. Now, I thought they were friends. Now, 4 or 5, you don't really know, that you have therapists watching you 24/7.
Yeah.
And what happened was I was just struggling to make it in school. I switched at least 5 elementary schools. The first school I was in was called Temple Sinai, and I got kicked out because I hit this girl in the head with a block. And she made a tower that was higher than mine. I had anger issues back in the day. So they said, Miss Felt, which is my mom's name, your son isn't right for the school. You might want to try a different one. My teacher's name was Tess. I didn't like the environment. It was like a Jewish kind of school, and it just wasn't for me. I'm Jewish, but it wasn't generally for me at all. So I tried Beiladim. That was a better school because this school, you didn't have to share it all. Now, I was not a sharing person when I was a little kid, that's for sure. And, it goes on to going to elementary school, and I hated elementary school because I was always in special need education classes. I couldn't take regular classes. I wasn't in mainstream. I had aides, I had assistants that would always be watching me in the classroom. And it was really embarrassing because, even though I had special needs, I was still aware that somebody was following me every time I went somewhere, different areas of the school. I didn't like that. So that was a big struggle for me. And, also, not only did I have special needs, but I had horrible anxiety. I had horrible depression. I had racing thoughts. All these different medicines I've tried. I've been on, I think, 7 medicines in my lifetime since age 6 or 7. I remember being on Risperdal. I remember being on Seroquel. I remember being on Abilify, Adderall. These are some of the worst antidepressants you could put people on. And one thing led after another. I started to just, want to change my life. And there was a period where, long story short, my original dream was to be a chief meteorologist at Penn State University. I was a weather freak. Alexa, I'm telling you, if you would have asked me the weather, I would have done research. I would have looked at the atmospheric pressure, the barometric pressure, 5,000 feet, 500 millibars above sea level. I would be obsessed with this stuff. I would know about the ridge and the high pressure. People would say, Mike, what's the weather? I was in, 10th, 11th grade. And I would say, oh, we got a northeastern coming up, upper level trough. I loved the weather. That was my original dream. But what happened was my whole world shook the day I had an awakening, which was May of 2017. I got done an astrobiology final. And what happened was I started to go on my sofa. I just sat there on my sofa and I felt like something was wrong. Because you know how you have awakening, like you get really depressed, you feel lonely.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I knew something was wrong because it was before that May. It was like around, let's say, February, March. I started canceling on my family gatherings. I just didn't want to go. My friends, I was canceled. I knew something was off. And then eventually it was like May of 2017. I got to my astrobiology final and I had no motivation. I lost my inner mojo of, just of who I was. And I sat on the sofa, I grabbed a pillow and a blanket, and I was just in a depression. And my anxiety got so bad where I could not step out of my own house. I wouldn't go in a car. My mom couldn't take me to Barnes & Noble. I basically stopped going to my classes. I tried my best. I barely went to school at Penn State Abington, but I couldn't even go out of my own house. And now we're doing this interview, and I couldn't even talk to my own father or my friend. I couldn't even be honest. I couldn't even, talk from my heart. And it was a really difficult, summer 2017. I just battled anxiety and I had heart palpitations. Every time I closed my eyes, imagine trying to tell someone who's 20 years old, your friend, I'm having visions. When I close my eyes, I'm seeing tunnels. It's freaking me out, man. They would think that you're nuts, right? And what happened was I just eventually saw this healer. Her name was Gabrielle Weber. And, she's a channeler, teacher, psychic healer. She began to do energy healing on me for weeks, phone sessions. She gave me meditations, light coach. I changed my diet. I don't really eat that much meat. I eat some meat, but I'm on, plant-based diet really, 80% of the time I eat plant-based food, but I totally switched. I had to have coconut water, kiwi, grapefruit, avocado, just things. I mean, lettuce. I mean, I see how much lettuce I eat on a daily basis, like salads. There was a point my mom couldn't even give me a piece of lettuce. I wouldn't eat it. I would never, ever care. But I was sick of living a certain way. And eventually what happened was I started to, feel after this energy she did on me, I was able to bit by bit, very slowly get out of my house, talk to people. I mean, there was a point where I remember I was on the beach and it was during, I think it was July. It was my birthday and it was July 2017, July 2nd. I remember that I was on the beach and there were these two girls, I just saw them walking by and I had a panic attack and I had to leave the beach and go to my beach house. I couldn't even be on the beach. I couldn't even be with people. Women, I mean, everyone just made me nervous. I felt the energy. I felt the planet. I could feel, these retrogrades. I started to feel vibrations in my head. I started to, my right hand, I'll never forget this. It was the whole summer of 2017. Every hour, I felt like my right hand was on fire. It wouldn't stop. It would be all day. And I had to face this thing where it was really difficult, where I would be in my room and I would have this past life trauma of remembering my lifetimes of glimpses of killing people. And it was scary, Alexa. It
wow.
It wasn't easy at all. And, after I started to get into healing and stuff, I started to watch one of the first people who got me through tough times was Victor Odo. I mean, this guy, he is huge on YouTube now. But when I watched him, he was the only thing, because he talked about awakening symptoms and I don't know, starting astral projections and the awakening, the fifth dimension, this stuff. I felt this, my soul was gravitating towards something like a ship, like, steering in the right direction. It was going toward the bay, it was just reeling in. And my soul felt pulled to get into spirituality. And I was never spiritual. I was logical. I was linear. My mom was obsessed with the law of attraction. My sister too. Now, my dad was very logical, and he and I had a very similar way of thinking, of seeing things. And I used to tell my mom, "Oh, you're dreamers. You're wasting money. Blah blah blah." It wasn't really my business, but that's how I perceived everything because I wasn't awoke, and I used to, be negative and complain. And now, long story short, I am doing coaching, energy healing, and, I'm starting this, meditation, manifestation manifesto.
Wow. What a story. I was like with you the whole time there from when you were very little until now. And just what a trajectory. Thank you for sharing that. That's really...
That was not, that's definitely not easy for me to talk about a lot of the pain I went through, but I love inspiring people. So, if people can see that I can talk about it and Tony Robbins can, and, all these people can, then all of us should tell our stories. Stories make everything.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Because stories are when I woke up, that's other people's stories is what kept me going. So I just was sitting here imagining the people listening to you being like, I went through that in school too. And wow, like he's so energetic and so positive, and you just have such a good vibe about you right now. So it's really exciting. And I'll say it's really funny that you said that about that you wanted to be a meteorologist, because when I watched one of your videos yesterday where you were doing like an energy forecast, and I was thinking, man, this guy's like a weatherman, but for energy. I literally thought that.
Yeah, I'm, and by the way, I'll tell you a long story short if you don't mind me telling you.
Yeah.
I had a Facebook group. This group had 20,000 members for the weather all over the world. It was huge. And I met Glenn Hurricane George from NBC.
Oh my
10.
God. So my mom worked on NBC 10 with Hurricane George. My mom's name is Luann Khan. I don't know if you know.
I know. I think I met her, I think.
But yeah, I grew up like around her. That's so funny. Okay, go ahead. Yes.
And sorry. And that's awesome, by the way. And you just know we're in sync. All this was meant just based on all the puzzle pieces are coming together for the jigsaw.
Totally.
The grand jigsaw puzzle. And what happened was I used to have this weather group, and I had whether now, first of all, long story short, I'll talk more about this later, but I have a whole entire awakening-based clothing line, and I didn't tell you this, but when I was 4 years old, I couldn't even hold a pencil. I could not even write my name. I had trouble with my left hand. I just couldn't even hold a pencil. And now I can draw. I have sacred geometry. I have affirmations. I have angels that I drew myself.
Wow.
And I couldn't even hold a pencil. And the doctor told me, I would never be able to properly write again. I had motor skill issues, and I couldn't even. And I'll show you this. Like this is my new. This is someone who couldn't hold a pencil, right? This is like my handwriting now.
Wow.
And I couldn't even hold a pencil. And you should see some of this stuff when I was 5. I mean, I couldn't even draw a square.
Yeah. Wow.
My brain didn't know how to draw a square. I was so mentally lost. And all these medicines I was on, especially Seroquel, so much was happening under the surface, like subconscious below the conscious level. Like you're not aware of it. That on these medicines, I was never aware of the pain my friends and family are going through. After I got off these medicines and this awakening, I started to say, Jesus, I was really in my head. I had no idea what people were going through in my family. And it was a blessing.
So what's your perspective of what happened to you? Like, what's your perspective of why you're able to write now? For example, you were giving that example when the doctor said you never would. Like, how would you explain that to someone? Just curious.
I believe that the higher divine, the greater divine, a lot of people say God, the universe, Jesus, whatever we want to call it. There's all different labels. I believe they wanted me, my soul came into this reincarnation to this physical 3-dimensional body. I call them spacesuits. Most people don't know what the hell a spacesuit is. But I believe that I was meant to go through all this so I could, be a huge inspiration to the world. So I go through these challenges because the world, my soul knew that I wanted to experience such a crappier, earlier life so I could take on the world because my soul wanted to make a difference. Because other lifetimes, yeah, I was rich. Yeah, I had things, but I was so in my ego. I remember in past lifetimes, I would be in these dungeons. I would have chains on me. I would be executed. I remember being beheaded at the guillotine, the French Revolution, all these voices and this painting of this French woman. I remembered it.
Wow. And by remember, did you feel it again? Did you re-experience it?
And you know how sometimes we remember there's certain energy ways where we remember our soul, like who we are. My dad was watching Gladiator, which I hate. I hate those kind of. I don't like blood at all. First of all, blood is one of my. I can't do thrillers. I can't do stabbing.
Yeah.
Forget. I'd rather have honestly a rock dropped on my foot than watch a horror movie. It's one of my phobias. My dad put on Gladiator, and I heard the trumpets and the chains, and I was eating my matzo ball soup, for dinner last night, and I had to leave the room because I didn't like how I felt, and I said, Jesus, I remember those trumpets and those lions. It my whole hair stood up my body. I remembered the trumpets.
Wow.
And I remember being there. I remember these lions, and I remember fighting these gladiators. I remember chopping someone's foot off. It's insane. I don't know how.
Wow.
I was in battle though.
And are these past life memories, they just happen spontaneously?
Basically, what I believe is right now, since the ascension is happening so fast, this, they call the event, there's a lot of different labels people call it. I believe that we are able to clear things faster now because the rate of the ascension and there's souls that are being woken up. And I believe that all of us are, going into our soul, into who we are. We're not physical bodies. We're much more than most people think we are. We're told in society that we're supposed to get a job, work a 9 to 5, do something that's beneficial for the family, make a lot of money. But here's the problem. We're told to follow our parents' footsteps, but that may be a part biologically of who we are. Because we're made up of that DNA strand, the X and Y chromosome, but that's not who we are. I don't know where all this information comes from, to be honest. Just through me. It's like a tube. I don't understand.
I love it. Like whatever you're connected to, I'm loving it. I was just about to ask you, you mentioned the event and, it's funny. I wanted to ask you, I know this is just one of the things you do, but I did want to ask you about, what's going on right now energetically, because one, I know we have this full moon that's like a big deal. And I have to say, I'm
ecstatic. I'm ecstatic for that.
Oh, do you want to talk about it a little bit?
Yeah, and at first I want to say for people going through massive awakenings right now on the planet, I actually have made 8 guided meditations that help with people who have anxiety, depression, insomnia. If you have sleeping problems, if you have central nervous system, back pain, chest pain, if you have heart palpitations, asthma, I made 8 guided meditations that people can buy for only $13.13. 8 meditations, all of energy healing, all of light codes, and over 600 people have actually ordered them in the last, 2-3 months. Don't ask me how.
Wow.
But these meditations, I helped someone with a concussion. I've helped someone who said they woke up for the first. I actually have podcast. I have a 5D rainbow bridge activation. Sorry, I'm going in a different direction for a second.
No, it's fine.
But I made this 5D transmission. Now, most people make podcasts, right? I bet you a lot of people are thinking, if I'm a spiritual healer, if I'm a light worker, why can't I charge people for my podcast? And then the light bulb goes off, why? Why can't we if it's time and energy? Because all of us are time and energy. You see a psychologist, you're paying for the time of him talking to you. A doctor, a lawyer, it's time and energy. That's what it's about. But I wanted to go back to about the new moon and everything. First of all, we are moving into Scorpio season. Now that, that's going to be a rush. That is going to feel like things are going to be rushed. And I guess I'll tell you this. We've been in this Libra energy. Libra is just like, I just want to take it easy and relax and just be there. Scorpio's like, now. You got to get this done. Get action. No more sitting in the back seat of your life. You are the driver of your soul. Time to slam that gas pedal and get on that high road, the gateway.
Yeah.
And, sorry, what were you going to say?
No, I was waiting for you. I was like, yeah, totally. Well, actually, what I was thinking was my mom is a Scorpio, and that's how my mom is. She's like, let's do this. So
yes,
that makes
Scorpios
sense.
are all about let's get this done.
Yeah.
If you're a Cancer and a Scorpio wouldn't go together well, zodiac signs. Cancer is more like, I just want to be peaceful. Oh my God, I just want to relax. And Scorpio is like, get the heck out of that seat. What do you think you're doing? It's 4:00. You're not going to sleep in the middle of the afternoon, even though you're going through an awakening. But the good news is first of all, the meteor shower yesterday. Ever since that happened last night, I have felt a whole new level of energy go through my body. This morning, I was up at 5:30 a.m. and I was dancing. I was in my computer room and I was happy. And I'm not usually a morning person ever. I've never been a morning person. And I had this energy and this full moon. First of all, Taurus. People who are Taurus, Scorpio.
I'm a Taurus.
You're gonna feel this noon. You're gonna feel this noon. And the good news is the Taurus full moon is gonna take a stepper. See how I said stepper? I made a mistake. I'm human. By the way, guys, before I continue, let me say you're human. I just showed you I make mistakes. We all do. Let's live and learn and let's grow as one. I made a mistake live and I don't care. I'm not perfect. I'm 21, but we're all students on planet Earth. But we're getting closer to our dreams. This is the whole new verge. And things get better in December. You want to know what's going to happen in December?
Yes.
Early December, you have Venus direct, Neptune direct, and Mercury direct. Those planets, all 3 direct. I mean, do you know what that's going to do for the collective consciousness? You got Mercury, you got Neptune, finances, affairs. You got Mercury in charge of emotional balance, physical vitality. But the good news is there is going to be only a 20-day Mercury retrograde. That's not a long time. Usually they're longer. So we're lucky. But there will be a Mercury retrograde in the middle of November. And by the way, January, you have a solar eclipse.
Wow. And what's that going to do?
oh, that's gonna have some ascension of side effects for sure.
Well, let me explain more about this full moon. What am I going to feel as a Taurus? The full moon is in Taurus, so what's happening for me?
You're going to need to focus more on, you're going to be like, I need this. I need to do this. I need to go this way. There are going to be people in your life. This is for people who are Taurus, by the way. I got a bunch of zodiac signs, but based off of Taurus, what I'm feeling. Now, this is not information when you go online. It's like astrology. This is just based off of my intuition. Taurus is going to feel this liberation like, oh my God, maybe it's a person in your life. They're going to go. It could be establishing a new connection with someone. It could also be that you might see your vision in a new way and get this idea and say, Jesus, I could have done that way. Like, it's like it's like that light bulb goes off and says, I got an idea. And the idea ends up being a multi-million-dollar idea.
That seems very relevant for me right now. I think, yes. So that seems very correct for me right now. In fact, as of like literally last night, that's like exactly the type of energy that like I was starting to feel. So
why? Because it's the meteor shower. That meteor shower, it's the Orda. I can't even see it. So some of these names are ancient to me, especially 21-year-old physical body. I
can't believe you're 21.
Really?
I don't know why. I'm 31. I mean, age really doesn't matter, but age is
only a number. It's all about, how you feel physically and emotionally.
Yeah, totally. Awesome. Okay. And wait, so what does a meteor shower do exactly, like energetically?
Meteor shower raises the vibrational frequency of the collective, and it gives us new beginnings, new outlooks, and it gives us more courage to fight, to step into our soul and on this planet. And if you guys don't know, I have a YouTube channel, by the way. It's Metaphysical Mike. I do daily videos there on energy. I do manifestation tips and things. And sorry, I'm giving you all information at once.
Oh, no. I was going to ask also, where can they get your meditation
we're in sync.
Yeah.
And if you guys want a meditation, please send me a message on Facebook for more information. You can go through PayPal, Venmo, whatever you prefer. Also, my YouTube channel is Metaphysical Mike. We are 460 away from 5,000 subscribers in 15 months. I don't know how it happened. And my Instagram.
You say that a lot.
What?
I say you say that a lot. I don't know how it happened, but I have 20,000 followers.
No, I know. I'm just saying, like logically, I don't understand, but it's like, of course it happened.
Yeah.
We're connected to source.
Yeah.
And my Instagram is Metaphysical Mike 1111. You guys can follow me on there. And also I have a website. It is metaphysicalmike1111.com. And I actually have a gift for everyone who visits the website. Even if you can't afford a meditation, you go on metaphysicalmike1111.com, the homepage. I included a free 25-minute guided meditation for inner peace, self-love, and for realigning all 7 chakras.
Wow. Thank you. We like gifts over here. I'm going to go check that out.
Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And also on the website, I have a whole entire clothing line you guys can check out. I got like 333. I mean, I literally made repeating numbers and like drew sacred geometry shapes from 111 to 999. So you guys can be on there till 111 to 999.
Awesome. I love that. Yeah, I saw some. They're so cool. Like I said, Mike, you got a lot going on and I love it. Your energy is infectious. I'm sitting here. I'm like, man, I got to get on all my stuff. I got to be like Mike.
You can. And by the way, I didn't mention this. You said you saw the shirts, right? The shirts. Yeah. People say, why would you get a shirt? Because I put energy healing frequencies into those shirts. All you have to do, not only do you buy the shirt, it actually gives you an upgrade for your, fifth dimensional consciousness. People can order the shirts, and even though they're buying it, it can help people with anxiety or people who have post-traumatic stress disorder. They can feel peaceful from wearing a shirt. And I want people to feel inspired. I make these affirmations like the universe is on my side. I got all different stuff. I have one that says, get out of the attic of your own mind into the living room of your soul. I made that up. Because because I want people to join as one. And the dream is to have, thousands of people order these shirts and, join together, feel confident, feel joy. And they go out and they read the affirmations. They're like, I'm going to go make my dreams a reality.
Love it. Yeah. What's funny is I've actually had that thought before. I was like thinking like, wow, couldn't people put intention into clothing and then they could walk around wearing it and they feel it, but also people who see it feel it, which is like you're beaming out these like energetic frequencies. It's just so cool that like, and I had that thought like a little while ago and now you're doing it and I love it. It's amazing. Wow. Yeah. You got so much going on. What else do you feel like is, relevant for the Positive Head listening audience to know or understand as they continue on their own journey?
That you're allowed to experience dark nights of the soul and it's okay and know they'll pass. And every time you dark night of the soul, it's a blessing. I had a dark night of the soul about 5 days ago, and it was just, I just woke up, emotionally was disconnected from source, from my higher being, light being. And what happened was, how, like attracts like, and, you're negative, you're going to attract more negative. For last 5 weeks, I've been going to, this is my parents' house, by the way. This is my main house where I live. I have an apartment near Lionsgate. And what happens is I used to go to this room. It was a lounge room with a TV. I mean, you don't have this in college. Most college apartments, and there's a TV and there's a couch. And I used to meditate. And I used to draw, and nobody disturbed me. And it was soundproof, and I could sing. And I don't know about you, but I love to sing. It's so good for the soul.
Yes.
And basically, I used to go in this room for the last 5 weeks. I used to spend, I went to class, and I would go back, and I spent all my time and energy in this room. And what happens is this. I go to the room on, I think it was Wednesday. That was when I was in a bad mood. I go there, out of all the days of the week, the day I'm feeling the worst, I go back to the room and they take all the couches out, all the TV, and they replace it with a ping pong table. And man, was I mad. I was upset. I was upset. But the thing was, now first, I was thinking, God Almighty, the universe out to get me. The second thing that arose to the top of the surface was, wait a second. What are the universe is saying, Mike, it's okay to socialize more and to be out in public, and you don't need to spend all this time. Maybe 6 months ago, it would have been good to spend all day by yourself because you had physical trouble with balance and aligning your energetic field. But now, like, if I really truly wasn't meant to like be in that, if I really was not meant to be in that room, like I would have like had, no, if I was, then I wouldn't like had crazy energetic, like off body experiences. Like I like the universe wouldn't put me in that room unless they knew that I could handle it now. If I was really having a hard time, that room would have been available. I know it would have been. Because the universe is only, working in our greatest good every hour of the day. It's working in our greatest favor.
Right.
And do you have any other questions about the event or energies?
Yes. Oh, sorry. Sorry.
Okay.
Yes, I was going to ask about the event. Actually, you read my mind. You're psychic. No, I was going to ask about the event because, we all hear about this, the event. And it's like, I think you kind of mentioned this when you mentioned it, is that like a lot of different people have different perspectives on it, and talk about it in different ways. But from your perspective, what is the event and when is the event?
That's a great question. I really love that. It's a good one. The event is not on a specific day. That's what people have to know. It's not a specific day where everything is just going to snap and we're all going to be happy. It's periods of going through energetic waves. The event is right now, this is the event. It's been the event for thousands of years. It's constantly just being, raising our vibrational frequency. The event is not something that happens overnight and it's going to be like, oh, the event is next Thursday at 6 o'clock. The whole planet's going to change. It takes time to change. But in the fifth dimension, time doesn't exist. 3D space, dimensional space, reality, time is linear. It's, but quantum jumping, they talk about the two, cups and everything and, how to do quantum jumping, timeline jumping. There's all this different stuff that people have to understand. The event is not this one day. It's not going to happen in a day. It's physically impossible. If it happened in our day, a lot of people would try to end their lives. The energy would be too strong. We couldn't handle it if it happened, just all this energy. We would go psychotic. Human beings couldn't physically handle these energies. It'd be too much.
So what is the event?
The event is these energetic waves. It's expansion in consciousness. It's moving into a new direction, closer and closer to our soul's purpose and our mission on this planet of who are we and what are we and how are we going to raise the frequency. I think a lot of people think the event is, it's an update on, but it can't physically happen overnight, and it's going to continue. But the good news is, moving forward, the energies are going to be settling down in November and December. So especially December, you're having 3 planets going, direct. And you've noticed the energies are not as intense as they were. Every month it's getting less and less. Not every day, but you got to admit the energies aren't as intense overall for the collective.
Yeah, well, I mean, I guess for me, I feel like I'm actually noticing them more and more sensitive to them because I'm opening up to them. So maybe the energies are less, but it's like, for me, I feel like when they come and they get a little rocky, I'm much more sensitive to them. Does that make sense?
Yeah, everyone. And the thing is, everybody's soul chooses to awaken at a different period. And we have to respect. That's why we need to respect the people who don't understand healers. And they call, there are people that have called me scam artist, fake, wow, you're charging for your healing. What's wrong with you? God, Jesus does it for free. And I'm thinking, okay, they're asleep in the matrix. They don't get it. And, I'll give an example. So what happened was, there was this guy on my Facebook live stream a few days ago. There's a difference between reacting and responding. Most people react. They get, retaliation. They get fed up and they get mad. It's a normal response. Now, the thing is, let me give an example. So let's say somebody is on YouTube or a live stream or in person. Actually, it's more better if you're, let's say, on a YouTube video or you're recording something. Let's say somebody says something like, oh, I'm much older than you. You don't know nothing. Or like, oh, you got a long way to go, kiddo. That's what the guy said to me. The old me would have ended the video and would have been really upset. I would have let my whole day be ruined from this one specific individual. But what happened was, I said this. It blew my mind because I usually react to everything. I said, I'm sorry you feel that way. I love you so much. Have a blessed day. Lots of love to you. Now, if the world did this, can you imagine how different it would be, the collective, if we did that? Imagine somebody going up to you and saying, you're retarded, and saying, thank you. I love you so much. I love you. I just love who you are. You're going to make it so big in the world. May God bless you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And I guess, the more we evolve, the easier it is to do that because we're detached. We're detached from the drama. Like, I'm noticing that about myself. It's like so many people are not bothering me as much at all anymore. It's like, it's much easier to detach from them.
That actually has to do with the energies on the planet. People are moving closer and closer to their sole purpose. And I'll give you an example. If it was August or September, I probably would have cursed them off because I was more sensitive. But I'm not saying every person, because there's like 7.8 billion people on the planet right now. But overall, for the collective as a whole, for, consciousness, energy, consciousness is just energy. It's nothing stands still in time and space. You have Albert Einstein, who proved Isaac Newton's theory about Newtonian physics was invalid and not accurate with E equals mc squared, that showed molecules are moving at the speed of light and energy and matter are one and nothing is static and everything's constantly moving and vibrating. Even though you're sitting on a chair right now, probably, that's just moving energy particles in, empty space. That's all it is.
Oh, I love thinking about that. Because I was talking about this recently, how like if you experiment with psychedelics ever, you'll notice that everything's very wavy. It's just constantly waving back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And it helps you to see.
That's how most people open their third eye. Right.
But also it's like showing you what's really going on in a way, is like things are constantly things are so transient. It's nothing is still, but it's our human perception that locks them into place because we're saying this is a chair.
And the sky isn't even blue. That's just a variation of different frequencies. Rainbows. I mean, like this phone is just photonic light. Everything is energy, consciousness, your bank balance, your soulmate, your best friend in Hawaii. Your heart, everything. The heart is 5,000 times more magnetically powerful. And then you have these things in the heart, and this is like neurites, and it's 30,000 neurites more powerful transmissions compared to your own head. All this information I just memorized. I don't know where it comes from. It just, I love talking about this kind of stuff.
Yeah, you can tell you're super passionate about it, and you're making me super passionate about it. And
go out there. And follow your dream. Who cares what people don't get about you? Do what you love. As soon as you follow your passion, the money, the opportunities, the people, the energy will show up. Because if you're not following your soul purpose, most people, the reason why they're sick, because they're not following their dreams.
True.
People have heart attacks, people have cardiac arrest, people have diseases. I believe that's because people aren't following who they are. And their heart is saying, I'm in pain. The heart is, it's like a mind. The heart is strong and it's powerful. And then your gut, as people say gut feeling, there's a second gut there's a second gut, like there's no second brain in the gut. There've been studies and everything, and sometimes we get so wrapped up in our head, we forget who we are.
100%. And I have another question for you. What would you say to someone who says, well, I don't know what my purpose is or my passion is. I've kind of interested in these things, but like how do they know which direction to go?
Honestly, the best thing you can do is meditate, ground yourself, go outside, go on a walk, write down I suggest getting a piece of paper, write down top 5 things that bring you joy, top 5 characteristics about yourself. Top 5 places you would love to travel to. And then you pretty much will know from there. It doesn't, it took me 21 years to follow my passion. Some people are 60 and still don't know what the hell they want to do,
Absolutely. Thank you for that. Yeah, that's a good idea. Because I guess once you have all those down, it's like the map.
Yeah. And it's all, honestly, it's all about intuition. It's all about doing experiment. I'm not talking about drugs this time. I'm saying experiment, do what feels right, take classes, take courses, read books, and you'll know. Because when you know, I didn't mean to say that 3 times. When you know your hair is standing up and you get that, and as soon as you get energy, we're doing this interview, I get energy from this. That's how I know this is my sole purpose on this planet, why I'm here to talk. Some people aren't here to talk. Some people are here to walk. Some people aren't here to walk. Some people are here to, you get the idea.
Yes, absolutely. I love that. Well, okay. So do you have, Mike, any fun or inspiring manifestation stories you'd like to share?
This one, actually. So what happened was, it was January of 2018, and I was starting my spiritual coaching business, and I started to watch Jake Ducey. I started to write affirmations. I started to, oh my God, the best book of all, I'm telling you, is The Secret. I mean, that really changed my life. The Secret, The Power, The Success Principles, Change Your Thoughts, Change Your Life, Abraham Hicks. I mean, I could go on. I want to do a whole entire other video on books you should read.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome. But what happened was, it was January. I wrote down on a piece of paper. Now, at the time, by the way, right now, the last 2 months, turn my monthly income into my weekly income. And I am making more money right now than, I'm not saying this to brag. I'm telling people that if you change your thoughts and your paradigm, you can attract anything you want. I'm making more money now in a month than I probably made in over a 6-month period, 5-month period back in January.
Wow. And what do you attribute that? Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Oh, no, sorry. What I attribute it to?
Yeah.
I attribute it to changing my thoughts, affirmations. Visualizing is key. Visualizing what you want. I used to sit in my bed when I had no money, and I used to visualize my bank. It said $3,000 my PNC bank account. In the meantime, I had like $10, $20. I would always ask my parents for money for the movies. You know, I worked 9 to 5, so I did Wawa, but it wasn't for me. And what I did was I did my first energy healing in January, and I said, Jesus, wait a second, can I charge for this? And eventually I started to, start coaching, and another thing led to a next, and I started to say, wait a second, I can do this. I can make a living out of this. But I'll get to the manifestation story. I wrote on a piece of paper this affirmation where it said, I am so happy and grateful. This was January of 2018. I'm so happy and grateful now that I have incredible radio and interviews with spiritual people. And this happened 7-8 months later, almost a year later. So It didn't happen fast. But it was worth it. It's fantastic. And I wrote down I made a vision board of, this new Mac right now I'm recording out of. This Mac was a manifestation as well. Because on this Mac, what happened was I had another Mac. It was old. Keyboard wasn't working. And I'm telling you, all of a sudden, I took the same picture of the Mac, put it on a vision board, and said, this is what I'm going to manifest this year. I said, manifestation monthly or something. I said, by X and X and X, I'm going to attract Y, 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 And it was May of 2018, and I got the Mac. Had the money, had the resource, and I actually got a deal on the Mac.
Wow. Love that.
It's incredible. And, I believe, one, that anything is possible once you get out of the mind. Once you get out of your head, anything is possible in this world. Anything.
So true. So true. When you live from the heart. It seems like you're in the flow, but the head just seems to confuse everything. Or at least that's been my experience. That's amazing. Wow, Mike, this has been awesome. Do you have anything else you feel called to share before we wrap up here?
Oh, yeah, of course. So another thing, there's a lot of people on their spiritual journey, they get really, really frustrated with certain people who, disown them. I'll give you an example. Now, I lost about 500 Facebook friends, because I went from weather to spirituality. I lost 5 really good friends. We don't really talk anymore. They are their separate ways. We used to be close. It's, but it is what it is. But, it's now the people who are reaching out to me are my real friends. And yes, I loved doing the weather, but it wasn't from a heart perspective. It was from my mind. It was an obsession. The weather wasn't a sole purpose. It was more of someone who can't stop smoking, like obsessive compulsive disorder. That's what it was, pretty much. I would get up at 4:30 and I would look at weather models. And I'm not talking about women weather models. I'm talking about European, all different kind of stuff.
Wow. So is your message there that that you might lose some things along the way, but
100%. You are going to lose friends. You are going to lose certain family members may disconnect from you. You may go through some dark nights of the soul, but just know that this period, it's going to pass. And, it's not easy going in your own direction. Some people aren't going to support you along the way. There are going to be people who are going to keep pushing you and saying, work 9 to 5. Why don't you go to college? And right now I'm in college, but between me and you, I don't really care for college. I want to move out to California and start a, successful, coaching and healing business. That's what I want to do. And be a motivational speaker. That's what my soul really would love to do.
Well, I have no doubt you will be doing that soon, Mike, because you're already doing it basically. And there's no stopping you. Your energy is just infectious, and you've inspired me today for sure. The past couple of days have been really illuminating for me in my life. And I feel like you just, brought through just so much.
Stars, full moon energy. You're seeing your life from a new perspective. You're starting to say, wait a second, why was I doing that? That's what new moons are about. It's about seeing old habits and saying, I don't want to live this way anymore. I want to live from the heart. I want to do something that makes me feel grounded. And once you find your sole purpose, everything will align. I'm telling you, the people, the experiences, as soon as this is what I want to say. Sorry, we're going so long.
No, I love it. Go ahead.
I wanted to say was, once you value, you honor yourself, other people back you. Once you back yourself, other people start to back you. If you don't, when I didn't value myself and I didn't think I was worthy, I never had clients. I never had money. I've never had a YouTube channel. I'll tell you this, August of 2017, I had 50 subscribers on YouTube. And I had like 1,000 views. And guess what happens now? What's happening now?
What?
I have the whole YouTube channel has 150,000 views. And actually 112 more views on my YouTube channel, watch time, and I become an official YouTube affiliate and partner.
Wow. Congrats. That's huge.
People can start what do you call it? Not like
ads.
Not promoting. Yeah, ads and everything. Yeah.
Wow, huge.
So anyone listening to this, if start a YouTube channel, doesn't matter what it's about. I have made videos on the fifth dimension. I've made videos on light codes. I've made videos on how to ground yourself in soil with the ions of the earth. I mean, most people don't know what the hell I'm probably talking about, saying, what is that? Well, you got to be open-minded into the possibilities of the universe. But every person out there has power. And I will say this, if you guys want to do coaching with me, if you want advice, if you want energy healing, a reading, if you want a meditation, please message me on Facebook. And, we'll talk from there, or visit my website. And also, I want to say that my sister inspired me too. She has a law of attraction coaching business too for musicians. So you guys should check her out. It's DannyFelt.com. She made an artist plug-in program, a whole entire platform to change their lives based on the law of attraction for musicians and artists.
That's incredible. That's a great idea because we need it. Artists and musicians. I worked in the music industry for a while, and
I'm not surprised. And by the way, my sister said she would love to be on here as well.
Oh, awesome! Yeah, that would be great to get her on here. By the way, just because I don't think we said your last name in the beginning, if you do want to reach out to Mike, his name is Mike Felt, Felt, on Facebook.
Yeah, Metaphysical Mike, and it's one of the first things. And by the way, I had some really embarrassing happen. I made 3 or 4 different Facebooks, and I forgot the password. So I have 3 or 4 Facebooks I don't even go on anymore. So.
Well, I just mean if you're in the Positive Heads group, you might see him posting as like your personal profile, right?
Yeah. And but my sister said that she would love to talk about her journey and what she's doing, and she has a vision of helping people who are musicians. She made a whole program, service online that takes people to the next level, of their spiritual journey. It talks about the law of attraction. She has 42 different services for website designing, for advertising, for how to build programs. Like, she's a beautiful company.
Wow. We should definitely link up after this. That sounds right up our alley. So definitely. Her name's Danny.
Danny Felt, F-E-L-T.
Danny Felt. Yeah, let's definitely link up after this. But for now, we're getting close to we are basically at the end here. Mike, this was truly illuminating. Thank you so much for manifesting this and making your way onto this show.
I can't. I gotta stop saying I can't believe, because I can believe I manifested it. See, most people say I can't believe it. I can believe. Is it me, or is there like light coming through my hand like an aura? Am I crazy?
Yeah, I see that too.
Am I crazy? Or is there like light in my hands right now?
I thought it was like a sun ray, but maybe it's
like, I mean, look right here. I swear, I still see it. It's like, I swear, Archangel. See that right there? I swear that's Archangel Michael. See that right there? That's Archangel Michael.
Yeah.
I bet you that's the spirit guy right there.
Yeah, that light right there.
I feel that. Holy moly.
Wow. watching over you, watching over your shoulder.
Thank you so much for this amazing opportunity. And I'm so grateful. And I hope this this will reach thousands and thousands. And I would love for you guys to reach out to me. And if you have any questions at all, please let me know. And I wish you all the very best as well. Thank you, Alexa, for having me on. And thank you very much for everything.
Thank you, Mike. Till next time. Bye.
Bye. Thank you.
That's it for this week's episode. If you're a listener with a story to share and are interested in being featured on a future episode of this special series, you can email me at alexa@positivehead.com. Also, if you're craving more consciousness elevating content, be sure to check out Gaia, which is the go-to source for streaming consciousness content on the web, where you can stream an incredible 7,000 plus exclusive videos covering 5,000 years of wisdom. As you all hear Brandon constantly say, it's a daily conscious effort to maintain an elevated vibration. And if you're looking to journey deep down the rabbit hole to do so, then Gaia is the best place we know of to do it. Period. And you can sign up for your first month for only 99 cents at gaia.com/positivehead. That's spelled GAIA.com/positivehead. Check it out. Otherwise, tune in next Friday for another P-Head Posse episode. And until then, as Brandon always says, journey well.